All right, happy Friday, everybody. So once again, just wanted to talk about our Discord, which is fully open for the rest of the month of December. You can join with the link below in the YouTube description. The link is also in our official announcements channel within our Discord. It's right here. You can share this with your friends, family, whoever. For the month of December, we're opening up all our channels. So you can kind of see, all the things that we've done so far, the trades that I'm taking, where I'm looking at the market from a day-to-day basis. Even today, for example, right, as the CPI numbers came out, once again, if you're not familiar with CPI data, it's basically how bad is inflation in terms of overall goods and services, right? So you can kind of see that CPI data came out actual year over year to about 6.8%, which is really in line with the expectations that Wall Street had. And this is one thing that I spoke about earlier this morning. Before the data even came out, I talked about how, for the most part, the last day or two of selling that we've had. So if y'all watch this stuff, right, see this movement that we've had over the last 2 days, this was probably the expectation of the CPI data being pretty bad. And then this morning, as markets quickly popped up, that was because, for the most part, the data was relatively in line with expectations. In fact, it was probably better than anticipated. So the markets popped. Okay. So the interesting thing about why this data is important to us within the crypto space is because if inflation is too high, let's just say this was like 7.8 or 8.0 or 9.0, this would be really bad, because what would happen then is the Fed might be inclined to raise interest rates. Why? Because if inflation is bad, you have to start taking money out of the economy because prices of the goods overall is very high. Because when people have too much money, especially the middle class, you will see more and more inflation throughout the economy. And that's one of the reasons why Fed would hike the interest rates. So the concern why people were worried about the inflation data, the CPI data coming out this morning, was because if it was too high, interest rates would get hiked, tech stocks and crypto would just get completely annihilated over the next probably 2 weeks or 1 month. But today's data was good. So markets are actually rallying. And to be honest, I think we're probably done with the bulk of selling in this area. We may have some choppiness headed into the weekend. We may have one more leg down in the market. Like we might do something like this, where prices pop up and then roll over, quick sweep of these lows right here, and then start to build a base and head back up by the middle of December. But that's really it. I think bulk of selling is done, especially, this selling that happened previously is done. So from here, I'm hoping that price can build a large base in this area and allow end of December, maybe even January, for us to head back up higher. That's my thought process right now, because on a daily basis, what we have is the 200-day moving average, the VWAP yearly, all supporting price in this very key and crucial area. On top of that, if you go to the monthly chart, what's visible is that we are bouncing off the $42,000 mid-range point. High, low, mid-range. Okay. The high is around 58, let's just say 60. The low is around 28, 30. The mid-range around here is about $40,000 to $42,000. Right. The fact that we're bouncing off this is a very good sign. But it's not just enough to just wick off of it. You need to see continuation back up. You need to see price reclaim above this level right here, which is $58,000, $59,000. We'll see how that goes over the coming rest of the month, maybe even January. But for now, I believe the bulk of selling has taken place right here. We may have another small leg down, but I'm not too concerned as of right now to head into 30,000 or 35 or anything like that. Okay. Other assets that look really good. Once again, Matic, which I've told y'all before, I still do believe that there is a fundamental catalyst from Matic, which is they're working on this ZK proof, right, with Ethereum, which is going to be basically an L2 on top of Ethereum. You can read more about Matic on their Medium page. But the point is that Matic is going to be crucial in helping the scaling of Ethereum. Okay. And this ZK process, the zero knowledge proof process, is going to be an additional form of help for the Ethereum network and for Matic's overall network activity, network facilitation. So I'm very much thinking that Matic is probably going to be a decent play for most of December. I think even right now, as you can see, Matic, it's in a very nice uptrending channel. The only thing right now that's concerning is we're breaking back inside $2.21, which is this previous level. As you could see, we got above it, failed, came back down, right? We might have some volatility, like this thing might do another leg down and then try to reclaim and do something like this. Okay, so it may take a couple of weeks for Matic to start, pushing back up, but I'm still very optimistic that Matic could get to previous all-time high, which is around $2.85, and quite possibly $3 and higher. I personally think that Matic, if you do a high to low fib and do some extensions on the way up, I'm personally betting on Matic to hit $4 to $5 range up here. I think it's more than possible for Matic to hit that. Again, not investment advice, but that's how I'm playing Matic, how I'm betting on Matic. The other position that I have open right now is a Ethereum long from about 4,400. So I'm definitely underwater right now. Here's the screenshot that I just posted. This is the 5K account. I took a 25K long in the 5K account, currently down $1,500. I think I'm not down as much because ETH is now at 4,200. I personally believe that this is going to be a failed head and shoulders, which failed head and shoulders patterns are extremely bullish, because if the neckline refuses to break and every time you come here, there's a big buyer just swallowing up all that supply, well, then what's going to happen to the head and shoulders? It's going to start moving back up like this, and then eventually start heading up higher. And my target on the upside for Ethereum is going to be $5,000 to $5,500. Okay. Again, not investment advice, but that's a trade I'm taking. I told people in our Discord, even in the 5K account, right? I told y'all that I was taking the Ethereum long trade, 25K, right around this $4,500 marker, 4,400, excuse me. And then I also picked up some Spell. I rotated about $2,500 from Matic into Spell because Spell here looks incredibly good at this very key SR level. I don't really want Spell to break down much further from here. It really needs to reclaim this area and start heading on up. If it starts breaking down further from here, like does something like this, I'm definitely concerned and I might think about cutting that trade. Okay, but for now, I feel pretty bullish on Spell. I think their token burn that they're having. So if you go to Spell burn, okay, let's just do this. Let me see here. As you can see, they have a proposal to burn about 5.25 billion Spell tokens, which would be fantastic because if you could burn that much Spell of a $75 billion total outstanding tokens, that's like, almost 7 to 8% of the Spell you will burn, which should be probably bullish for price. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Other assets that look good on my radar. So Ethereum looks good, Matic looks good. I'm definitely keeping my eyes on LRC as well. I think LRC should probably do decently well if Ethereum does well in the coming weeks. And I've already told y'all I'm bullish on ETH because it looks like one of the strongest structures compared to most alts. And more importantly, Ethereum BTC looks phenomenal right at this key high, as you could see, right? Looks like it wants to keep trending up higher. So all that in mind, I'm thinking that Ethereum is going to probably outperform BTC and probably most alts in the coming weeks. Okay, so that's one of my bets, one of my theses that I have. Most of the things don't really look that good. I think one thing I'm definitely doing is staying away from the not L1s, but the DeFi 1.0 tokens, which are the DEXs that topped in May or April earlier this year. So here's 1inch. It's basically been moving sideways for damn near 6 months. Even Alpha, this is like your DeFi 1.0 token. They did really well last year, but they have not done squat most of this year. All right, here's even SRM double top right back, closer to the lows. Cake, same thing, topped in April at 44, now at 11. That's like 70, 80% and down. Wi-Fi, same thing, topped in May, now down almost 77%. So the fact of the matter is, you want to be staying away from these older DeFi 1.0 tokens because they're just not doing well. They're not really performing. Same thing with sushi, right? Topped here in March, been selling off since then. So I think my game plan right now is to recognize what are the strong contenders in the market, and are they worth staying in, or should I just be in cash? And as of right now, I find Matic and Ethereum to be probably the only assets that I want to be trading in, because most other things still have a downtrending structure. So yeah, any questions? Any questions so far? All right. Make sure y'all check out our GameFi Metaverse article. It's on our Medium page, Alpha Trades, right there. You can also find some threads that Bradley wrote for the GameFi Metaverse stuff right here on my Twitter feed. Make sure you read it. Make sure you retweet it. I would really appreciate it because there's a lot of alpha in here, a lot of things that we talk about for 2022, how I believe that next year might be, a pretty bullish year for these Metaverse tokens. So just something that you want to keep in mind. All right, we got a question in the chat. What do you think splits bets between Luna and Matic? Oh, okay, splitting bets between Luna and Matic. Yes. Yeah, I think that's decent. I mean, Matic is probably a much better structure than most other assets right now. I think it looks decent up here. I'd probably say that keep an eye on this level right here, this horizontal. You don't really want price breaking back below that, because what it looks like to me is this is the last, big move that we had until we had this big candle. But then after that, we're not able to sustain a rally higher, right? So you're getting capped right here, which is a high of 75 and a low of 66 on Luna. So anything between this range, okay? So anything between 75 as a high and 66 as a low of the range is just a range to range, level to level trade. You should not be expecting breakouts until you see a significant smash above this $75 level. Until then, the trade is you could short here, close here, long here, close back up at the range high. That's it. That's all I would do. Again, not investment advice, but there's really no trade in here, right? This is consolidation. If you're long from like say back here, then great, you're good. But if you're thinking about entering longs here, I would probably be careful. I would probably make sure my stops are just below, I don't know, 64, maybe 64 and a half. But yeah, I think even though Matic does not look that great compared to everything else, it looks really good. So yeah, I think that's a pretty solid bet. Same thing with AVAX, right? AVAX is trying to bounce off this $80 level. Be very careful. Price is getting capped literally at these candle highs. So your range low is probably somewhere around $80. Your range high being capped is around 93. Right? So anything between this is a level to level trade. Unless you smash above and hold, chances are there's probably just, a whole lot of chop that's going to happen in this area. Solana, same thing, well, similar thing, which is that Solana is having a very tough time breaking above 216. In fact, it's actually having a very tough time holding above this key trend line that you see right here, which it is now rejecting right over here. So if it's rejecting that, I'm expecting price for Solana to head back to 170, maybe even sweeping these lows around 152. Okay. Cool. Well, anyway, I just want to keep today's information short and sweet. I don't see anything else on the liquidation data. Funding rates are not bad, but they're not great because you have some negative funding rates across the board. So once again, people are shorting, which is a good thing because, you know, technically you could squeeze them up if price keeps ripping on up higher. Okay, so a lot of these people shorting right now could probably get squeezed out of the market. Open interest, you know, cumulative volume. This all looks decent in my opinion. Looks like, you know, BTC wants to keep pressing up a little bit higher. But I do want to say that it's probably going to find a tough time trying to break through this high. Okay, so make sure when you pay attention to BTC, right? Remember, this is still the high right here of resistance. All right, this whole pocket between 51.5 all the way to 53. That's a whole lot of resistance that is going to be tough to break through. So we might even do something like this and then come back inside, then sweep these lows right here, and then build this large range. I could totally see that happening. All right. Cool. Well, that's all I got for y'all. Once again, we have the Discord free for everybody. So if you want to send anyone the link, it is right here in the official announcement. It's also probably below in the YouTube description. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. I hope y'all found this update helpful. I will keep y'all updated in the chat. I generally post updates in like, you know, Bitcoin chat or Bitcoin analysis, or if it's like altcoin related, I'll post them here. If it's like DeFi related, I'll generally post them in this DeFi chat related channel. Okay. And then we also have this farming, staking, and lending channel. This is for your passive income strategies, right? So if you're using Abracadabra, which is a spell protocol, or you're using, you know, Trader Joe, which is on the AVAX network, or Pangolin, which is also on AVAX, all these other things we will discuss right here in the farming, staking, and lending channel. Okay. And then of course we have these other channels like discussing, you know, NFT and gaming chats. Today, we do have an event coming up, which is around 3 p.m. my time, so Central Time. So that's, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so New York time. This is going to be a discussion about NFT, gaming, and Metaverse. I do suggest you guys join. I think you'll like it a lot. These discussions are really great because people can chime in and listen to what's happening in the gaming and NFT space. Everybody who joins in those chats comes out learning a lot more about what's happening in the NFT world. So it's at the top of the Discord channel. Make sure you click it. Make sure you hit you're interested. And when the event starts, you'll get a notification and you can join in and listen to the voice chat, okay? All right, y'all, that's it. Take care, good luck, and I will keep you updated through the day in the respective channels. Cheers.